Hey guys, I'm back. Hey friends, welcome to Vinyl Eyezz. I am Jarrett New and I'm finally back in Los Angeles after being in Texas for the last 2 months. Now, the reason we were over there with family was because they were doing a lot of construction and renovation on our place here, and we didn't really want to be around for that. So basically, to make a short story long, most of the renovations are done now and we're slowly getting everything back to normal around here. Now, as you can see, I'm still in the process of setting up the record wall again and basically just getting a few other things in order. Also, you've probably noticed that I have a completely new turntable sitting behind me, and that's really what I want to talk about today. So this is the Fluance RT81, and before I tell you what I think about it, let me tell you how I got it. So unfortunately, during the move, we had to pack up most of our stuff and put it in a storage unit in LA, including all of my vinyl stuff. So there I was in San Antonio without any vinyl gear or records, which sucked. Now, the records were no problem because I could just go to a local shop and pick up some good albums, but I was still missing the turntable. So thankfully, around this time, Fluance reached out to me and asked if I would review their newest turntable. And because of my unique situation, I figured I really didn't have anything to lose. So I told them absolutely, if you send it over, I'll review it. So not only did they send the turntable over, but they were also nice enough to send me their surround sound bookshelf speakers as well, which was really cool of them. Now, after they sent all this stuff over, we had to come back to LA because the renovations were gonna be mostly finished. So anyways, now that I'm back home and I've finally had the time to set up all this Fluance vinyl gear, what do I actually think about it? Well, let's start with the turntable. First off, the RT81 has an absolutely beautiful finish to it, and that's really the first thing you're going to notice after you unbox it. And although it has a polished walnut finish, the plinth is actually made up of lightweight MDF, so it's not going to be super heavy if you do need to move it. So basically, here's everything that's included in the box. First off, we get a solid aluminum platter, which is very sturdy, and being that this is also a belt-driven turntable, if you flip that over, you'll also notice that they give you a rubber belt so you can attach it to the motor. Next up, they also give you the stylus, cartridge, and head shell completely assembled and already aligned, which I think is really helpful because, to be honest, when you're setting up a new turntable, that's probably the hardest and most painstaking part of the process. And if you don't get it exactly right, your needle might be damaging the grooves of your records, which is no fun. So basically, you can skip that whole step because they already did it for you, which is awesome. Okay, next we get the counterweight for balancing the tone arm, a 45 RPM adapter for when we're gonna play 7-inch singles, the AC power cord, an RCA cable with ground connections, the manual, and a Fluance catalog of their other speakers. Now, if we flip it around, we see the audio outputs, the ground connection, and the phono/line switch. Okay, so here's the deal with these connections. If you want to use the built-in preamp, flip that switch to line, connect any RCA cable that you want, and don't attach the ground cable. There's really no need to. However, if you want to use a separate external preamp that you got lying around somewhere, then flip that switch to phono, connect the RCA cable, and also attach the ground connection. So basically, this turntable is pretty flexible with however you want to connect it. Now, to the right of those connections, you'll also notice the power connection, which is pretty self-explanatory. And next to that is the auto stop function. So the way this feature works is if you turn it on, the record is going to start spinning when you move the tone arm closer towards it. And then once the record is finished, the platter is going to slowly come to a stop all by itself. So basically, if you listen to your vinyl at night and you don't really want to worry about falling asleep, you should probably turn this feature on. So that's everything that's included with the turntable, but now let's talk about the speakers. So these are the Fluance two-way bookshelf surround sound speakers. And just like the turntable, they also have a beautiful glossy finish to them. Whereas the turntable has a glossy walnut finish, these speakers have a glossy piano black finish, which looks really sharp. And they also have those 5-inch woofers in bright yellow, which really stand out. Now, being that these are passive speakers, on the back you'll get these simple red and black connections, which correspond to positive and negative. And this is also where you're going to connect your speaker wire, usually 16 or 18 gauge. Now, as far as the amplifier goes, I just connected them to the same receiver that I use in my normal vinyl setup, and that worked out out pretty well. Now, the last important thing you should know about the RT81 is that it can play albums at 33 1/3 RPM and singles at 45, but it does not have 78 RPM capability. So if you're only collecting the older 78 RPM shellac discs, you might want to go with a different turntable. Now, that being said, that's pretty much the only gripe I have about the turntable. I love the finish, I love the fact that the cartridge comes pre-aligned when you buy it, which saves you the headache. I like the built-in preamp, which is very responsive. I like that it's belt-driven, so you don't get any rumble, and also the platter is very secure, so you don't get wobbles, which is nice. And I also like that the plinth feels very sturdy, but also lightweight, so you're not going to get a hernia trying to lift it, which is good. And as usual, to test the sound quality, I played all my favorite records like The Cure, Jose Gonzalez, Kings of Convenience, Madeleine Peyroux, Agnes Obel, Dead Can Dance, Black Sabbath, Antonio Carlos Jobim, and of course, Sade Lovers Rock. And across the board, everything sounded lively and accurate, and there was no sign of distortion, which is good. So overall, I think this is a solid turntable that's built to last, and it does definitely stand up to the competition. So if you guys want to check it out for yourself, I'll put the link in the video description down below. Now, what do you guys think about this turntable? Let us all know down in the comments below, and if you love music, join the vinyl army and hit subscribe, because I'm going to be coming out with a lot of great videos every week that you're not going to want to miss. Also, be sure to find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and more. All of my social media links are in the video description down below, and most importantly, guys, have a great day and keep spinning that vinyl. I like things that are shiny.